Yes, we are live. Hello, welcome everyone. This is Carlos Martinez coming to you live for the typical Wealth Wednesday interview, right? But there's nothing typical about this interview because I got the man, the legend himself, Mr. Robert Hollis, 500K affiliate with My Daily Choice. And you know what? Everything that this man touches turns to gold. Well, folks, before I introduce him, hello, let me say hello to Robert. Hello, Robert. How are you today?
How you doing, Carlos? What a blessing you are.
Well, thank you so much. Likewise. You know what, Robert? I love your saying, but I had to add a little word to it. You know how you love to say, "I'm blessed and highly favored." I had to add one word to it and change it just a little bit. I say, "I'm abundantly blessed and highly favored." So thank you so much. I love saying that. And when I talk to people all the time, Robert, they're like, "Man, I kind of stump them for a little bit." They're like, "Well, I got that from my mentor, the amazing Robert Hollis." So
very
awesome.
cool.
Awesome. So, folks, so here's the thing. All right. If you're watching this, all right, please share this out. This is a message of hope. All right. This is a message of courage. This is a message like if you've been down, I don't know anyone that's been as down as this man here. Right. I'm reading from his book. And if you don't have his book, let me see. You gotta buy his book, Shackled to Free, Robert Hollis. This is an amazing, amazing book. And I'm telling you, this man has touched my life like no other. All right. So Robert Hollis, what does Robert Hollis mean to me? I mean, when I've always known about Robert Hollis, who doesn't, right? Robert Hollis. Okay. Everything that guy touches, it turns to gold. But, like when, as a matter of fact, Robert, just so you know, you were the main reason that I joined this amazing company. All right.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah. So when Ron Deering, another one of my awesome mentors, another awesome man of God, when he introduced me to this company on June 10th of 2018, he sent me the tour, the free tour, and I took a look at it. Right. And then I did my due diligence. And then finally we got to the end, and I got back. This was like Sunday morning. This is like Sunday morning before I went to church. And then throughout the day, I'm getting pinged all these emails. So I'm getting pinged all these emails like, man, you got someone else underneath you. You got someone else underneath. I'm like, What is that? I haven't done anything. Like, what is this? So I talked to Ron at 7 at night. I'm like, Ron, what are all those emails? Well, that's the marketing system, right? That helps build your downline. I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like this. But then he tells me, he says, did you know that Robert Hollis is here too? I'm like, what? I go, Robert Hollis. I go, he's comfortably retired. Him and Terry, I mean, they're worth millions. They're comfortably retired. I go, Ron, why did you just tell me that to begin with? I didn't have to go. I would have signed up from the get-go, because anything Robert does, I want to be a part of, because everything he does, right, is with a mission and with a purpose. Yeah. So, Robert, you're the first one that taught me, Robert, that I've got to work on me.
Yeah.
You're the first person that has ever taught me that, because I was always looking for things outside of me. And you said, Carlos, the greatness and light is within you. It's within you, And so that to you, I thank you. Thank you for changing my life. I wouldn't be the person I am today if it weren't for you. So thank you so much, Robert.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, you made my night by just saying that. So I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. So I want to read a little piece in here, Robert, a little piece of your book, your awesome book in here. Okay. And as you can tell, I've read this a few times already, but I sometimes I can't even get past the preface, like just reading out your story. I started out by, this part in the book with your little boy, right? I mean, as a dad, parent, mother, father, we're supposed to provide for our children. Yeah. Right. And I look at this and I said, I heard a little voice in the back seat saying, Daddy, why aren't you driving our car into our parking lot of our apartment building? And then such a shame, you say, such a shame blanketed me as I lied to my son, because I couldn't tell him that I was hiding our car from the repo man. As I sat with my head on the steering wheel in tears, so many memories flooded my mind. And then the one memory that kind of really stands out to me is when you were a young little boy, and loud piercing sirens came closer as flashing red lights pulled up to your family's house. We need to take your mom to the hospital. Your dad beat her horribly. As the ambulance pulled away, the police handcuffed your dad and took him away, and my brothers and I were left alone. The police showed up at our house, and we are taking your mom, and the police say, we are taking your mom to jail because she didn't protect you and your brothers. The social worker took me inside and said, Robert, you must go to foster care because your mom and dad are in jail you and your brothers will be separate in separate foster homes. Say goodbye to them. And then there you are sitting in a prison cell with your head in your hands, and you had to decide if you would let your crappy story of physical, emotion, and sexual abuse define the rest of your life. And you prayed, God, please transform my life. Amen. Robert, take us there. Take us there. Because so many people this is going to touch a lot of people. This is a message of hope. So please, tell us about who you are, Robert, please.
Well, I most of my life as a young person, I was just a survivor. You know what I mean? It's sad to think that you just don't know what other people's lives are really like. You sort of, in your mind, sort of go, God, I don't think that life is supposed to be this way, but you don't have anything to compare it to. And I was telling my son, Matthew, he's 25 years old. I'm sorry, birthday, 28 years old. I don't want them to grow up, you know what I mean? But they're growing up. And I was telling my son that, mentally, I had figured out that I knew about what time my dad was getting home. And so what I would do is I would sneak out the window. I'm probably 10, 9, and I would sneak out the window because I knew that when I could look through the window, and if the TV wasn't on, then that means that he was drunk and went to sleep. Oh, wow. And then I would sneak back in the window. And it was like, so there was crazy things like that, I just didn't know any better, but, I survived. Well, if you're that young and you're outside during times when other people are having supper, I actually ran into other people that were in the same scenario, and they were never doing anything right. Unsupervised people, especially kids, And so, I look back at my life during that time, and it's weird that, today I look at it as everything is a blessing, so people can look at all that trauma that I went through, and it made me who I am today. Now I can reach out to all of those people that are out there that may watch this recorded live or replay. And I'm going, listen, you can start your life over. Whether you're a believer or not, it says that you need to become a new man, so for this new person, you need to renew your mind. And I'll never forget, I just started attracting the right things. And I can remember one time hearing Oprah, saying, hey, listen, not only, her mom didn't want anything, her parents, so her dad's gone. So she's being raised by her grandma, and then all of a sudden an uncle, rapes her and she gets pregnant. Yeah. And so then she loses the baby. I mean, my God. So people look at her and, I'm not interested in having kids or getting married. Does that might make a little sense? You probably never did get over some of that trauma, but you still can live in incredible, joyful life by learning to learn new things and then simply sharing those new things that make you happy with other people. You know what I mean? So that's when all of a sudden I got plugged into personal development. Didn't have a clue what the hell personal development was. Probably, I think I read one book my entire life before I got into personal development. And that was the New Testament. So it took me a couple of years to even realize that there was another part of the book. So I got this little red, Bible tossed to me in a sale. And when I was 18 years old, and I mean, I read it over and over and over and over again, even though I have struggled with reading. And so there was just a lot of promises in there, Carlos, that I went, that's for me, that's for me, that's for me. And, in that cell is when, I realized that I could make a decision where I'd never be alone again. And that's by very simply just knowing that Jesus, my Lord and Savior, is my brother, and he introduced me to his father. and so now I have a real father, you know what I mean? And so it's weird that people mentally don't know how to be joyful when really, it just says very, very blunt that, once you figure out the good news, then you should share it with every person that has ears to hear.
Yes. Amen.
And so I thought, wow, if I can get transformed from that point. So I went from that horrible life to 2 years later, I was written up in the same newspaper that said, Williston's biggest bear bust, Robert Hollis, has all these felonies. And I got written up in the same newspaper a couple years later as graduating on the dean's list from the North Dakota State School of Science. So, I mean, you know what I mean? So, I just learned then that, listen, I'm going to figure out how to start following people that already knew what they were doing instead of listening to my family and friends. And from that point on, so it was like everything was already, I knew I wanted to be a race car driver. But what happened is I didn't have the funds to do it. So I thought, well, listen, I'll work on them then, so through a guy that I met, a professor in college, he helped me get the job with Roger Penske in California. And now I'm out there and I'm learning from a guy that is one of the best mentors I can imagine. I mean, I don't know if you heard some of the recent stuff, Carlos, with him, but the Indianapolis 500, the Indy track was owned by a family, and they decided that they didn't no longer want to keep it. So they gave it to Roger Penske. And Roger Penske, at the age of 12 years old, his father took him to an Indianapolis race, and he just said, one day I want to race here. Well, not only did he race there and win there, but he's won 18 Indianapolis 500s with now 11 or 12 different drivers. And now he owns the track.
Wow.
So then he just recently, from the president of the United States, just won the Presidential Freedom Award, the highest award that a civil person can get. And that was a mentor that I met 36 years ago, and I'm still following him.
He's proven and documented, as you well
said. And that's where I got that mentality, Carlos, that I wanted to find people that felt like they didn't have a chance. And I wanted to work with them to get them to understand that, that life is not as bad as you think it is. And you can get plugged into stuff to change your spirit, to change your heart, change your mind. And when you look at Roger Penske, he could have stayed a race car driver, but once he won a championship, his mentality was, I want Carlos to experience this. I want Robert to experience this. So now you got 12 or 13 drivers out there that, because he understands that, he found those drivers, trained them, and then, rode them up to they're on that Borg Warner trophy. So when I got involved in this industry, and again, another thing that was awful is, all of a sudden I think my career's going great as a mechanic, automotive engineer, and then I get hurt, so now I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I'm like, I just don't understand. Everything was going so awesome for me. Why would all of a sudden I get in a situation where doctors are telling me I can't be a mechanic again and I got to find another career? At that point in time in my life, Carlos, a lot of people that are listening to this, sometimes we want to stay in the oh, pity, oh, me thing too long. That becomes the story that we tell everybody. So when people ask, how are we doing? I'm going, listen, I messed up my knee. I got in an accident at work. I'm making $900 a month. I lost a couple of my cars and a motorcycle. I can't pay my payments on my Snap-on tools. I'm now, got another car that I owned. I got a pawn loan on that, and now I missed the payments on that. So I got the repo man following me. I'm getting eviction notices on my door. And I told that awful story for 9 months.
Wow.
9 months. And I know some people that will watch this video that if you just listen to them talk to themselves, some people will tell the story until they're dead.
Yes.
So there's a phrase out there that Roger Penske heard that I figured out he found it from somebody because he was into personal development. But he said most people, die at the age of 25 years old. They just don't get buried until their 70s or 80s.
I love that saying.
Yeah. And so, all of a sudden I'm mentally going, okay, I got to change this. And all I did really is, and for those of you that don't believe this works, I'm sorry you don't believe it, but I got down on the one knee that I had left, the other one's in a cast. And I mean, I just really, really just screamed out, God, I promise I'll keep my ears open. Just tell me what to do. I was thinking at that time, Carlos, if I needed to go in the ministry or if I needed to go on mission, you know what I mean? I just really felt like, wow, God's trying to get my attention. I'm going like, listen, you got it. You freaking got it. just give me a direction to go. And of course, like in my book, you know, a guy I didn't know very well. You know what I mean? I met him a few times at my uncle's barbecue. His daughter was dating him, Sean Hennigan. I probably have said Sean Hennigan's name, no exaggeration, probably a million times in 33 years. And, you know, he just said, listen, I met this guy that's expanding a company. He makes 62 grand a month. You need no experience. And he's looking for some people that want to make that kind of money and also want to help him. And I'm like, I'll come pick you up. You know, so, you know, some people just are not ready to learn. But like I say all the time, you know, there's two mentalities. You're either inspired by something or you're coming from a place from desperation, you know, and I just went, man, if this guy makes that kind of money, even though I don't believe it, if he does, I bet you I can learn from him enough to make $4,800 a month.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And so, of course, when I met him, I just said, listen, just tell me exactly what I need to do. And he's like, get excited about your new future, edify and promote me, and get people in front of my video. And I'm like, yes, sir. You know, and he challenged me. He said, you know, Robert, listen, I put 70 people in front of my mentor in the first 30 days. Let's say you're half of me. I said, I'm half of nobody. And he goes, okay, great. Then let's see if you can get 70 people to watch this video all the way through. And it ended up being 72 people. The position in that company was similar to our 25K position that you're at. He even tricked me, Carlos. He said, you know, listen, if you do 25K in volume, you know, personally, he said, you'll probably end up making, you know, around 9,800. Our comp plan with this company is more lucrative because if you did that personally as a 25K, that would be 12,500. See? Yeah. And so he said $9,800. And he said, listen, if you did 27,000, then your check would have another digit in front of the comma. See, he says, I know it's only $200, but $10,000 versus 9,800. So that's the goal we're going for. And I hit it. And so my check was $10,210. I worked 45 days back in that time. And I'm telling you what, from that day, I was on fire, man. I was like, you know, and it was always funny because he said to me, and I don't know why people don't get this, Carlos. He said, now listen, you got two choices now that you've made that income. He says, I got a question for you. Do you think that I showed you how to do that? Or do you think that you did it? I said, wow, that's a great question. I know I did it, but I did it with directions and instructions and coaching from you. And he goes, great. So now all you got to do is teach people how to go 25K. And I went, what? And he's going, or would you like me to teach them? I said, I would love you to teach them. So I never did I never did a training. I never did a presentation for 18 months, Carlos. And during that time, I made $258,000 my first year in network marketing. The next year was 520. So let's just cut that in half. I made over $500,000 in 18 months and never frickin' did anything but edify and promote the guy that was doing this stuff. Right. Wow. And so you look at us now today, and it's like, you know, I got a 29-year-old guy named Josh Swagel that did $270 million in revenue. Yeah. And people are going, Robert, when you're going to do a training? Right after I make $270 million in 2 years. I'll start. So with Josh and Jenna doing all these trainings and all this stuff, and golly, I've been in a lot of companies, Carlos, over 33 years, but I never had the people that knew how to build the business and then built the business. You know, they both came from the network marketing world, and now they're in this, and they're willing to step back in. You know, they don't need to.
Right.
They don't need to, but yet, you know, it's crazy how, you know, that this company is just, Josh and Jenna are just so into it. So I tell people that, you know, sometimes you just gotta, you know, put your apprentice shoes back on.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you haven't taught someone how to make 10 grand a month, then you should go back into training.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I mean? You've learned to make 10 grand a month, but have you been able to teach someone else how? And you know, Carlos, I love using these small analogies, but I know everyone that's watching this live or recorded, you probably know how to drive a car. Doesn't mean you know how to teach someone to drive a car.
That's right.
Right? So if you were teaching somebody and they got in an accident, I would say you might stop training people.
Yeah.
Just get good at you know, piquing interest and inviting people, building that relationship, giving, you know, stuff away. Like I said to my son, it's like my son goes, you know, Dad, if you could narrow it down to just who you are and what's the most passion, the two of the six things you need as a human being, human needs on the spiritual side is growth and contribution. So all day, every day, Carlos, I'm finding a way to learn new things that inspire and make me happy. And then I do spend all day sharing that kind of information. Now, I want to make sure that everybody understands. I make sure to share that with new people that have ears to hear.
Yes.
Learning new stuff and sharing it with people that already know you. That's not new. Right. Go to the ends of the world and spread the good news.
Yes.
So this is my ministry. I need to share with new people. I need to inspire new people.
Yes. Yes. Amazing, Robert. Amazing. You know, Robert, and you know, another thing that got me in the book here, and I love what you say here, and you use the word, and it kind of gets thrown around a lot, but I love how you put it. Okay, because I think, at least in my opinion, I think what a lot of people struggle with is that they just don't believe in themselves.
They
don't.
Right?
They don't know that they're God's greatest miracle. Right.
They don't.
And you write in your book here, you said the way you gain confidence is to get rid of the feeling of being unworthy, believe and have faith of other people, because if other people can achieve success, you can too. And you must go through the same process. Now, no one can shortcut the process by using a magic wand. That's not the way it works. And then here's the word. It takes a paradigm shift, a reframing in the mind where it now becomes yours and becomes fact. When you know a point to be true, believe it with all your heart and soul, and you will have confidence. Your self-esteem, your belief, and your ability to become successful will grow. I love that. I just love that. Yeah, it's just amazing. So go ahead, Robert, please.
Yeah, and you know, I think that people, even to this day, I'm still learning. My number one priority is learning. You know, and I found out recently from John Maxwell, you know, I never even heard of him. So when the student's ready, the teacher appears, right? And so I'm learning this stuff on you know, the book Rule of Five or whatever. And I sat there and I thought, he turned around and said, you know, how can you motivate another human being if you don't know what motivates them? I was going like, well, that's obvious. And then he says, let me share the main ones. And I'm going, I'm sure I know these. And I didn't. I didn't. So I'm reading those and I'm going, which one of these is me, you know, on a scale to 1 to 10? And people think I'm money motivated. I'm not. I'm motivated by progress. So when I'm got more progress and other people that I know have progress, that's what lights me up. That's what fulfills me. That's what, juices me up. I'm jacked out of my mind when I can help someone, get a direct deposit. I'll never forget, that, when the first time that someone wrote me a check, and I did something other than get paid on a W-2 as an auto mechanic. This person wrote me a check. I remember as they were writing the check out, they were saying $189 or something like that. And he goes, who do I make this check out to? And I was like, holy shit. I guess me. Like, oh God, I showed this guy a water filter, and at that time I wasn't taught by my mentor. I was focused on the product, and I was going door to door and selling water filters. And I thought, there's 2 million people in San Fernando Valley in California. And, I'm going to be busy for quite a while. And so then when I met my mentor, he said to me, he said, Robert, listen, he said, how many people are in the Valley? I said, 2 million. He says, how much do you make on retail from selling a water filter? I said, $60. And he goes, okay. So if you sold one, could you teach 10 people to do that? And I said, yeah. And the comp plan, by the way, was awful. You know what I mean? So if 10 people sold one, I would make $60. And he said, so you sell one, make $60. You teach 10 people to each sell one in one day, and you make $60. And I went, wow. He goes, if you can teach 10, you can teach 20. And I got it. I finally got it that, it's not about being an expert of the product and selling the product. It's being an expert at recruiting and training other people how to go out and do that. Well, I think that when people get all of a sudden their income is not getting where it's going, that needs to, where they dreamed it would be. What they do is they spend more time focusing on doing what they're supposed to be doing instead of focusing on finding the right people that would like an escape plan in their life.
Oh, yeah.
And so, all the stuff that Josh and Jenna is teaching right now is stuff that, this is the old basic stuff, that I love the whole concept of, you got to crawl with the crawlers and, walk with the walkers and run with the runners. And, so I really immediately went, wow, okay. So now Terry and I, it'll be 2 days. It'll be 2-year anniversary for us.
Wow.
And yeah. And, make $1.2 million and have just a little over 17,000 people in our group.
Amazing.
So when you look at 17,000 people, what people don't get about this industry, and it's sort of, if a person doesn't see the paradigm, they don't see the paradigm. But I try to tell people, Carlos, I said, what if 17,000 people that Terry and I override, what if they're all lazy? And all they do is work 1 hour a month.
Wow.
Then Terry and I got paid on 17,000 hours. How many did you get? How many hours did you get paid on?
Right, exactly.
So, it's the whole concept of not everyone's going to be a runner. Not everyone's going to be a walker. Some people are crawlers, you know what I mean? And so, instead of beating them up, trying to get them to do more, go get more.
Exactly.
And so, I was telling Josh that the other day that, I really see myself in this company until I'm no longer here. I really, really do. And I know some people have difficulties getting that focused and getting that clear of where their picture is. But I always dreamt that, wow, what could I do? How many orphans could I take care of with $1 million a month?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always thought this industry would be where I would do it. And then all of a sudden I lost, a little bit of faith and hope because company after company overpromised and underdelivered. But you know what? I had relationships that did that too. So the funny story I tell to people, Carlos, is, I had 2 girls that I dated. One was my wife in high school. And for whatever reason, they just didn't see their future with me. So my wife come home one day and said, I don't want to be married to you no more. And I said, you're not taking my boy. And she said, I don't want him.
Wow.
And then God put Terry in my life.
Yes.
So now she'd been, hanging on for 35 years. But yeah, I got to keep adding years to that too. It must be 36. But I just don't know why people hang on to the stories that are not fulfilling you. Yeah. So I could say, oh, woe is me. I told Terry I'd never marry her. Never marry her. I'm not going to put my heart out there like that again. I'm not going to, invest all this, time and love into one person so they can hurt me. And she waited until I healed. You know what I mean? So, so some of you that are out there that it's not working good for you, if it's not working good for you, please ask for help. Yeah. And if you ask for help from someone that's already doing it, make sure you listen to what they tell you to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, some people, I was talking to a person today and she was saying, oh my God, I just wish that I could help my people. You help your people by leading by example. Yes. Prove to them that it can be done. Right. And so if you prove to them that it can be done, me, I run for a while and then I rest and then I run for a while and then I rest. And so, everything work out the way it's supposed to. Terry and I will easily hit super affiliate this month. And it's just important to me because I don't, my little time clock in my head, Carlos, goes, if the first time I showed up at a convention, it was 250. The next convention, it has to be 500. The next convention, it needs to be super. I mentally, in my mind, because not from anybody else, just me in progress. You know what I mean? I really can't understand why I would want to show up at a convention and watch people walk the stage that were positions that I was supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah. And then try to motivate people because I didn't do it. That would be hard. I don't know how people do it. I really don't. But I'm coming from the number one place of dealing with progress, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just get juiced up when other people, start getting, new cars and new homes and, pay down debt and quit their job. It's just, that just motivates the hell out of me. So I always look at MDC as an escape plan. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I found ways to escape from awful things in my life. That's where the book came from, Shackled to Free. Yes. And I just want to help people, get a personalized, customized escape plan to just get away from the things in their life that they just don't like. Right. Right. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that, Robert. Now, Robert, can I ask you a couple of more questions? Is that okay? Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Very deal. I love that, Robert. Now, Robert, on all the Zoom trainings that I've been with you, which are amazing, by the way, all the value that you give, like every single week, and up to just recently, it was twice a week, every Tuesday and every Saturday, But one of the things that always struck me was that you were looking, because the thing that motivated you was that you never heard your dad or your mom, for that matter, tell you that they were proud of you. And how important is that to, like, how much does that motivate you? Yeah, there was, I thank you for bringing that up. There was this thing, and I still got the 3-ring binder someplace. Mm-hmm. There was this thought in my early years, Carlos, that one day I would get to meet my father. And I just wanted this 3-ring binder of all the things that I accomplished in my life, that I was going to stick in his face, and say, look how much you messed up. I'm a good person. I'm a good father. I'm a good friend. I'm a damn good person, and I'm very productive, and look at all the stuff that I did. And then, of course, I ran into other people that helped me and just said, and the guy said, listen, my second mentor, Bill Gould, and he just said, Robert, what if you never, ever get him to say that he was sorry? What if you never, ever, ever get him to say, I love you? I'm proud of you. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
And he says, so I got to get you to start figuring out how you can be proud of you. You know what I mean? So, there was a lot of things that shifted in my mind, but I now know my Heavenly Father is extremely proud of me.
Yes. Amen.
And I also know that I have so much more to do.
Yes.
There's a movie out there that's sort of controversial for people that are believers, and it's called Defending Your Life. And it's got Meryl Streep in it and Albert Brooks. And it's not biblical in any way, shape, or form, but it was like, what if you go to a center place before you go to heaven and you got to defend your life? So you got a prosecutor and then you got a defense person. And people are like, hey, Carlos, you had this incredible opportunity. You did nothing with it.
Wow.
You could have helped millions of people, but every day you got up and felt sorry for yourself.
Wow. Wow.
So it was a big wake-up call for me. And again, that movie was given to me. My one of my mentors told me to watch the movie. And so then I played this game in my head. Again, no scriptures to back this. This is my little game I play in my head. But I just one day know that I'm going to be standing in front of someone. And what if the words are just said, Robert, what did you do to enter the gates of heaven? And I just had this thing in my mind, Carlos, where all of a sudden there's hundreds of thousands of angels up there going, let him in. Let him in. And I just get a smile on my face and shrug my shoulders. And, my creator says, well done, servant. Well done. Well done.
Yeah. A life lived to the fullest. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. And so that's what keeps me pumped every day, because there's a lot of people that I still have to help. So when I reach out to people and connect with strangers, my number one thing is I know that the gift that I had to give them, the greatest miracle of the world, or the science of getting rich, depending on where their mindset is. And Carlos, I'll share something with you that no one else has heard, that I haven't shared with anybody. It was like, my whole entire life, every time I've taken the audios in the book, The Science of Getting Rich, and put it into a place where I could share it with people, I know that I'm on the right path, because that link always gets blocked. My whole life, I know I'm sharing it so freaking much that whatever social media says, listen, we're done sharing this link. So, I've had to move it from server to server to server to server to server. And then it got blocked from Wistia, and then I put it on Google, and then that link gets blocked. So what I do is I keep opening up different Google accounts, and reload it all back up, and then continue to share it, because I know that if that keeps getting blocked, then there's different powers on this planet. You're either a Luke Skywalker or a Darth Vader. You know what I mean? And I just know that the Darth Vaders of the world are going, he's sharing information with people that will change their lives forever.
Right.
So we got to stop that. And so I spent probably at least 6 hours today re-putting all those videos and audios and book in another place.
They're not stopping you. They're not stopping.
And believe it or not, it was someone, I got to give her a shout out, Hindra, one of my reps from South Africa. And she took all the audios and she just made them videos. You know what I mean? And then loaded them up on YouTube.
Wow.
I was going, that's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah. Wow. So now if someone, says, hey, I reach out to somebody, here's a gift. I don't know if you've heard of Science of Getting Rich, but now it's the audios and Bob Proctor and Rhonda Byrne saying what it did to change their life. And it's in a unlisted, playlist on YouTube.
Yes.
But every day that I'm not giving out that gift and sowing seeds, Carlos, I go bananas. I really, really just know that if I keep sharing that, and for those of you that are out there that are believers, and you probably are if you're hanging around Carlos, my whole feelings is that I can share the science of getting rich, and then once they know there's things that they didn't know. I re-listened to Rhonda Byrne today, and she was saying that, after her husband died and her life was just done and they lost their business, and her daughter gave her that book, that she says the first original book that she got from her daughter, that she'll never throw it away, because if you look at the pages in the book, they're stained with teardrops.
Wow.
As she was reading the book and just went, what if, so you go from your oh woe is me to a mission and a cause. And her mission and cause is everybody on the freaking planet needs to know this book exists.
Yes.
And so that's when she did her research, found out that Bob Proctor and Abraham Hicks and all these other people gave credit to the book. So then she put the movie The Secret together. Wow. And then we know that she got on Oprah and Larry King and Ellen DeGeneres. And, she only made, like $300 or $400 million. She wrote the book, The Secret, from the movie. And then from that, golly, she also got written up, I believe, in People magazine as being one of the top most influential women in the last 100 years.
Amazing.
By sharing something that someone else already created.
Yes.
So once I get people excited about The Secret, then of course I can share with them the greatest miracle in the world, and then share with them my personal testimony. And that's how I, if I've shared gifts with you, Carlos, I can guarantee it was Science of Getting Rich, and then the greatest miracle in the world. And then after that, I probably shared with you a list of all my favorite audios that are from biblical singing of biblical scriptures that are all the promises. So, they're on this. But you just remember, and now I got to take all those audios and do the same thing I did with the Science of Getting Rich.
Well, thank you. Awesome, Robert. Awesome. Robert, so thank you for taking the time. We've already been here for like 45 minutes. But Robert, any parting words especially for the people that are stuck, right? Yes. Stuck in life, stuck in relationship, stuck in building, their network marketing business. What parting words would you like to give them?
Well, first of all, my parting words are, if no one's giving you permission to succeed in life, let me and Carlos be the first. And what you need to do is, if you feel like you're stuck, or sometimes even things are going backwards, you got to realize that you got off track because you started focusing on things that don't matter. I'll say that again. You're focusing on things that don't matter. If you ever have been involved in marketing in your life, and again, if you're hanging around Carlos, watching this live or recorded, you never can forget the point where you were ignorance on fire, when you knew frickin' nothing. And when you knew nothing, you had no choice. You knew nothing. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? You're supposed to get excited about your life being the best you've ever thought it could possibly be, because it's coming. Holy cow. That kind of income is coming to me. What I can do with that, what I can buy, what I can help people that I love, the things I'm going to be able to do. You started dreaming. You had a vision in your life. Vision inspires success in others now. And you were jacked up with excitement and enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means God within, and thesos. And with that energy and ignorance, you went out and said, Carlos, I just found this, but you got to check this frickin' out. This is amazing. Well, what's it about? The guy that started this company is going to tell you. So you didn't have all the information, and you didn't get lost and started learning from 17 other people that don't know what the hell they're doing. So now you got a Frankenstein business, because when you started baking your perfect cake for your perfect life, you got a little bit of Todd, and you got a little bit of Ray, and you got a little bit of Eric, and you got a little bit of John, and you got a little bit of Danny. You got all this crap in your recipe, and your cake sucks. So now you know all this information. So instead of applying it, you just try to teach it. And you over teach and train your people, and confused people do nothing.
That's right. So true. So true.
So if you know me, I practice what I preach. So, before we went to the last convention, Carlos, I changed everything. I said, I'm going to give all my training away and my brand. I got something to say that I think your group will love. I seen a post recently, and this is what the post said. God forbid something happens to your business, your marketing business, your affiliate marketing, your network marketing, something happens to your business. It goes out of business. It's shut down. So I think I seen a company today, Vita or whatever, and home business. Hey, we're just not doing the network marketing model anymore. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Wow.
Oh my God. So I pray to God that this never happened to you. I believe with NBC, that's not going to be a problem. But put your mind in that mindset, okay? I love this business. I believe in this industry. I love helping people. So I guess I got to find another company. If I'm going to find another company, Carlos, this time I'm going to find a great frickin' sponsor.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a great sponsor. So then you go on people's Facebooks and you go on their pages and you find out that the person does more than one thing.
Ooh. Wow.
You look at their Facebook page and you see they're doing training. You see that they're in multiple companies. You see they're promoting this guy and this girl and this guy and this girl and this guy. That is not going to be my frickin' sponsor, Carlos.
Wow.
I want to find a sponsor that is focused on doing one frickin' thing, and that's helping me make money in this frickin' company. That's what I told Terry 2 years ago.
Right.
Don't look for a company, comp plan, compensation plan, products. Throw all that garbage away. Find somebody that is posting rank advancements on their personal page from the people that they're training.
Yes.
Because that shows a person's focus is on their people.
Yes.
I go to some of your guys' websites and I can't tell what you're doing, what the hell you're in, and what you're promoting. Because you listen to some idiots say that you're the deal.
Yes.
How's that working for you?
Yeah. Yeah, so true.
When I connected Terry to Jenna, because I thought I was just going to be the guy from the side, Jenna continues to still post people on her wall that she promotes. That's the kind of leader. And if you go look for a sponsor and you go look at their Facebook page and their other pages, and the only thing is them, look at me, look at me. That's how you're going to be treated. So you brought a part that really touched my heart, Carlos, about I never got my mother and father to say they were ever proud of me about anything. The last thing I want to do is get a sponsor that doesn't.
Yeah. Wow. I love that.
But
very powerful.
If you don't know how to properly point, guide, and direct your people to get results, then you're never going to be able to post your people's rank advancements on your wall.
Yes.
So if you don't have new people rank advancing, if you don't have old people that are not ranking up, you need to frickin' change what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I knew I wanted to do this full time. I know in MDC I can easily get to $1 million a month. It's one of my goals. And so I stood on stage in front of thousands of people and said, my brand's free. I'm not promoting anything but MDC, and I'm going to take this to the world. I don't need multiple streams of income. Most of you got 20 multiple streams of income, and you still don't make what Terry makes every month. Oh my God.
Right.
Think of the best people that you've ever met on the planet that leave a legacy. A legacy.
Legacy.
So even, I know I'm on a tangent here, but what's that phrase? It's like GOAT, but it's not. But it's a person that's won an Emmy, won a Tony, won an Oscar. You guys know what I'm talking about. Whoopi Goldberg's one, believe it or not.
Is it a Golden Globe?
It's called an EGOT. You can Google it really quick. But it means that someone, they put their head down and they worked their ass off until they got an Oscar.
Oh.
Then they step back and go, you know what? I'm going to get a Tony. I'm now going to go from acting and get on stage. That new guy that did Hamilton, he's one of them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's one of them. So then you get on stage, learn that skill, and you get a Tony. And it's like, well, part of being on stage for a play, some people actually sing, Carlos. I wonder if I could learn to sing and then win a Grammy. Are you seeing where I'm coming from? There's not one person that you'll ever meet in the arts that said, well, I think I'm going to do a little bit of stage time to be in plays, then I'm going to be an actor, then I'm going to be a singer, and I know I'm missing one, God darn it, and I don't know what it is, but you guys can look it up. Maybe some of you are already posting, but it's like an EGOT or something. But so that's me. That's me. It's like, I'm not a master affiliate. What the hell do I need to be doing multiple freaking things for? Yeah. I believe that I would have been a super affiliate a year ago and pretty close to master right now if I wasn't doing multiple things. I was scared to take my focus off my brand.
Yeah.
I'm not scared anymore.
As a result, you're going to hit super affiliate this month.
Yeah, now I got three separate legs that are all going to 50 and 100K. Wow. And so I can wait for other people to go to super or 500K, or I can create, 5 more legs of 50K. It's like
amazing.
So that's what I would tell the people that are stuck. Look at all the stuff that takes your time. Go back to the basics. Take a journal and write everything that takes your time on a day-to-day basis. And start taking and scratching the ones off that are giving you no results. Go back to the basics.
Yes.
Go back to the basics. So when you go back to the basics, for some of you go, I don't know what the basics are. Basics is building connections with people that you don't know. That's it. That's simple as it is. Got a friend of mine that everyone knows. I won't say his name. And he said, help me. I will do anything. And I go, you got 1,600 friends on Facebook? What the hell are you doing? If you can't connect with strangers enough to make them friends on Facebook when it costs nothing, you suck.
Yeah.
Learn that skill.
Yeah. Exactly, Robert.
And a friend, by the way, so I can make sure that no one messes up. A friend is not someone where if I told you to log into your messenger on back office and we click on a friend and I tell you to click on messages and you both have never ever said anything to each other, that's not a friend.
Correct. Right.
So I've easily, oh my God, I know for a fact, Carlos, that I've had probably 50,000 friends on Facebook.
Wow.
And people go, they only give you 5. I know. If they're no longer connected with me, they're unfriended.
Yeah.
It is like, people are like, I said this to Ron just the other day. I said, Facebook is for business. My family and friends that are close to me, they know how to get a hold of me. It's not on freaking Facebook. So I've had close family and friends go, why'd you unfriend me? Because you never comment on any of my posts. You never sent me a message on Facebook. You didn't even wish me happy birthday. You're not a Facebook friend.
That's right.
You're still my brother. You're just not my Facebook friend.
I love it, Robert. I love it. I love it. Wow. Wow. Well, Robert, thank you so much, Robert, for everything that you do, what you've done for me, what you do for the orphans around the world, the people that you impact, the people just making progress, because that's what you're all about. That's what you love to see happen.
Gotta have progress, man.
That's right.
And
well, Robert,
do this.
Yes.
Every one of you, listen to me. You can do this. You learn to drive. You've learned to speak English. You can walk and talk. You can diaper people. You can cook some meat. You know what I mean? Some food. It's like, come on, you can learn to do this. This business is easy. It's just easier not to.
Yes, it is.
So you got to get that passion back. You got to get that vision back of what your life can be. Carlos, you should already be in that house. Or girls who already had their separate bedrooms.
Yes.
Get this done, Carlos. You don't want them to say, Daddy, I no longer need a special room for you because I'm getting married and my husband's going to take care of the room for me.
There you go.
Time clicking, brother.
Thank you, Robert. Robert, a man after God's own heart. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I love you so much. You're my brother in Christ. And again, Robert, heart of gold. Thank you so much.
I love you and I appreciate you, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Robert, and likewise. You have tell Terry I said hello. Looking forward to her and you hitting super affiliate this month. So awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye, Robert. Thank you. Bye, everybody. All right, folks. So here, say bye to Robert. Say thank you, Robert. Folks, so here's the thing. If you're watching this, okay, whether it's the live or the replay, share this out with other people. It's a message of hope and inspiration. And if you're watching, if someone shared this with you, get back with that person. Get back with that person. You're tired of struggling. You're tired of just being stuck in life, stuck in business, stuck living paycheck to paycheck. Get back with the person. Tell them you want the free tour, and they will give you the free tour. You're going to love this, guys. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much. God bless you. You're amazing. Until the next live, next Wednesday, you guys stay tuned for next Wednesday's Wealth Wednesday webinar interview. You're going to love it. An amazing, amazing story from amazing, amazing lady. I will share that information next week. Love you guys. Until the next Wealth Wednesday interview. Love you guys so much. Mwah. Talk to you soon. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.